Matty Johns, good afternoon to you.
Joel, Fletch, Brooksy Tourists, how are you, lads?
We're going good, Matthew. We're just up in the Gold Coast. You love the Gold Coast, don't you? You get around. You like a buffet. You like a pool. You like getting around in your sluggos.
Mate, one of my great pleasures used to be getting off at Coolangatta, hopping in the cab, and before I get to the hotel, I'd just say to the cabbie, brother, just drop me off here. Sizzler, I just smash Sizzler at Broadbeach, and then just continue the ride to the hotel. Mate, that crazy cheese bread, those crunchy potato wedges, honestly, I just inhale them. Hours on end.
Matty, I know you're not a Reggie man. You don't like wearing Reggies, but what about when you go swimming? Do you wear boardies or do you wear like cozies or Speedos?
Oh, no, I wear board shorts.
Okay.
When I first made a sojourn from Cessnock down to live in Newcastle, I made the grave error of wearing football shorts to the beach, which resulted in me in being relentlessly mocked.
Yeah, no, that's it. But they've made a comeback, the cozies or the Speedos.
Yeah, they're big go.
I've always been a Speedo man.
Have you?
Always.
Yeah.
Because you get the rash. You get the chafe if you wear boardies. You know, you go for a swim. You're sitting there, you got to roll them up. I don't like that, man.
Mate, my old man Gaz, mate, he was a Speedo man all the way. And I tell you what, mate, he's dead set, hung like Sasquatch. And it would just, he would leave zero to the imagination. Honestly, mate, he walked along the beach, there'd be 3 footprints.
My old man used to wear the stubbies. And the stubbies, when you crouch down, they'd always have the cags out, wouldn't they?
Yeah, your cagging and your lacing. Yeah. They'd be popping out. Matthew, where does that performance from Reece Walsh, that 15 minutes, where does that sit with you? Where does it rank?
I reckon you blokes would agree. So I think it's on par with Nathan Cleary's 2023. Yep. Last 15, 16 minutes in the grand final against the Broncos. It was incredible. And you know, boys, it was one of the most crucial things for the Broncos, and it sounds absurd, but I have no doubt that him going to the sin bin for 10 minutes, I reckon allowed them to win the football game. Him going off for that 10 minutes, because we were sitting there watching the game, Fletch, and it was clear just before half-time, mate, both sets of forwards had completely hit the wall. And, mate, both sides were starting to wobble, and then all of a sudden Walsh gets sent to the sin bin, as does Hudson Young, soon after Pat Carrigan. So 12 against 11, the pace increases even more in the intensity. Meanwhile, Walsh is sitting in the sheds, putting his feet up, refocusing, resetting, and then just comes out just totally fresh and just blows them away. Honestly, I think it is one of the biggest factors in why the Broncos won the football game.
He had a spell just to have a think about
it.
I still can't cop the Hudson Young sin bin. I look at it. He gets the whole part of our game is to get people off their game, your opposition off.
Mate,
you and your brother were very good at that. But
yeah, we had a dossier on people.
Exactly, but did you feel that Ashley Klein just panicked a little bit and didn't he just thought I can't leave a semi-final with 13 on 12 because we know the momentum now how it can change.
I totally agree with you, Fletch. That's what it is. Something has happened in the game. Suddenly there's been discussions that they're saying 13 on 12 is a bad look. If we're going to send one to the sin bin, if there's a bit of a kerfuffle or whatnot, or melee, then look to send 2 there and keep it leveled up. But I couldn't believe it. But but you're right, Fletch. I mean, we played, and you know what it's like. You know what it's like. Like there's certain areas, right, with sledging you don't go there. But it's professional sport. If someone gets in your face and basically tells you, you're hopeless, you're pathetic, whatever they want to say, or starts giving it to you, then, mate, you just brush it off and keep going. And I say that to young players sometimes. I say, listen, just do yourself a favour. At the start of your career, when they start sledging you, actually stand up, show it has no impact on you, and actually up your performance, particularly defensively. And I said, and I'll just leave you alone. I said, but mate, if all of a sudden you're getting sledged and you find yourself reacting all the time, mate, they're just going to go at you all the time. Like, I remember the War Brothers had that thing. They used to, Glenn McGrath, when he used to bowl, like when he was a young player coming into the side, he said that he would speak to Steve Waugh and say, righto, what do I do with this bloke, mate? Don't say anything to him. Viv Richards, don't say a word. He'll dig in. Other blokes may go for him and that sort of stuff. So I'm with you. I just think someone being sent to the sin bin for getting in someone's face and sledging, I just think it was ridiculous.
Well, I feel now. Did you read that or did you see that documentary about Tiger Woods, about his old man, how he would follow him around at college, and would sledge him in the crowd, but call him like god awful names.
Really?
Oh, it was horrendous, and he said that was to build mental toughness,
resilience,
which is that's more of an individual sport, obviously, but yeah, I just feel that the referee did that, so there was no blowback saying, you cost him the game because it was 13 on 12, which it's a whole part of the game. I feel that it was the wrong decision.
That's why I love Ronaldo, Mulatalo. Mate, he brings the vibe and the swagger and the menace to the Sharks. Mate, he's the guy who brings all the energy, and he gets in the opponent's faces. And I loved it last week leading into the game, where he said exactly what he was going to do and went out and did it. I just think, mate, I thought it was fantastic.
I think he said to the coach, Craig Fitzgibbon, that, I've probably put us under a bit of pressure. But like Jimmy Johnson, remember Jimmy Johnson, they were bagging the team on the radio, and he rang him up and said, we will win.
Yeah.
And he put the pressure on the team. I tell you the most ferocious sledger I ever played with. Terry Hill. We played against Jamie Lyon on his debut. This is a debutant, Jamie Lyon, young gun coming through. And, mate, for 80 minutes, Terry... I had a headache by the end of it. Like, he did not stop.
Yeah. But, is it now sledging's gone? Like, you can't do that anymore? You can't get into someone's...
Well, yeah, we don't see it often, do we?
We don't do it because it's... Well, I feel we don't do it anymore because coaches say, don't antagonise them to give them motivation. But anyway,
do you know what I reckon is too, Fletch and Joel? I reckon like players these days, like they're far more social together. Like they get, with social media, I suppose, but also when you might go out sometimes or somewhere, and there might be a few Broncos players there, and there's a few of the Roosters boys. They all really sort of get on and mingle together. And so, like back in the day, Fletch, boys, if we walked into a bar and you looked over and a lot of the Roosters boys were there or one of the teams, there was a reluctance. After a certain period of time when you played Origin with blokes in test matches, that's different. But if you didn't really know each other, there was a reluctance to socialise, I reckon, where these days they all get on with it. And so, I said to my boys once, mate, is so much sledging out there? And they went, no. And I used an example of some of the things that we'd say, and they went, that's just weird. I said, yeah, but it worked.
Yours wasn't weird. Yours was downright really, really offensive. And I still have trauma. I still have trauma about Joe. Matthew, can you see anything but a Penrith win on
Fletch? I can't. But if the Dogs, a couple of things, I reckon. What's vital for the Dogs? Bronson Cherry's a big inclusion because, mate, like he's one of the leaders of their yardage. Like he just gets forward all the time. He'll be, he'll lead their yardage. Connor will be on one. He'll probably take two. Carraz and a few of the guys getting forward. They've got to get forward on early tackles. Because if that forward pack is smaller, it's faster, and they use the football a high-skilled yardage game, then they can cause Penrith a lot of problems. But the other thing they've got to do, mate, they've got to pressure Blaze, like we saw last week with the young Raiders. Doesn't matter how great a season you've had going up, when you get into the furnace of finals football with the game on the line, it's a real test of your nerve. It's like it's a different game. So I'd say they'll go at Blaze quite a bit, and they've got to try to they've got to kick our one-on-one with the edge defenders. They don't do it enough. But it's hard. The reason why with the Panthers boys is you look at the Panthers, they don't need a lot of things to go right to win. If they just go out there for the rest of this final series. They defend great. They're really good in yardage, and they regularly get Nathan into attacking kick positions. I don't know who beats them.
Well,
and they're three really simple fundamentals.
Matty, the game of the Panthers last week and the Warriors, and I was watching all these games. There's 5 minutes to go. Their line speed was still flying.
It looks like you're offside. If you're not at the game, because the camera angle when you're watching the referee's out of shot. No. But I remember I went and watched them live against the Chooks at the cricket ground a couple of years ago. Yeah. And I'm going, when you sit at home, you go, they're offside. But then when you see them live, they sprint back. Like, remember when you do the beep test?
Yeah.
Well, they run back, bang, hit the beep, and then come flying off the line.
Well, last week it took them a little while to get those suffocation sets on where they kick in the corner pockets, and they just go at them like that. But once they started to get them on, not long before half time, mate, the dismantling just began. They scored the set after they got the first one on, and then the following set after that, Nathan got a repeat set. Blaze got a repeat set. Nathan got another repeat set. And going into half time, I think the Warriors were without the ball for about 8 or 9 minutes. Then you come out after half time and Brad Snyder, in the context of the game, scored a really soft try. And you go, geez, how'd that happen? Well, it happened from what happened 15 minutes. That 15 minutes before half time where they're just getting taken apart by Nathan's kicking. So they don't, Penrith, they just don't need a lot of things to go right from. And one opportunity they do have, I reckon, the Dogs. Dylan Edwards, in the back half of this year, has been uncomfortable under the high ball. He had a lot of problems with it a number of years ago. And I'm watching his confidence has dipped under that high ball a little bit. So that's an opportunity for Burton. Burton's playing centres, but in yardage, he's got to get himself in kick position and just, mate, don't worry about placing the ball. Just jam the thing as high as you can.
What about Nathan Cleary, boys, last week, those 2 dropouts?
Yeah, I know.
And he's kept that. He would have practiced that all year and just kept it up his sleeve for finals, didn't he?
It was, knew the slipperiness. You know what I reckon's going to happen too, boys, now with the restings become a big thing. Don't forget that they were 12th. They were last after round 12. I feel the resting's going to become more and more important for these teams. We've seen what they've done in the back end. They go, well, righto, if they do go on to win it, they'll go, well, we only need 15 rounds to do this. But
my theory, Fletch. I've got like Joel. I've got a few theories myself, and I always do this when I think I'm having a wager on a team. I always say when a team has played multiple night games, and particularly like double down on that if it's a wet game. When they straight away then all of a sudden out of the blue play a Sunday afternoon game, mate, they absolutely blitz. Right, and you have a look at Penrith. Penrith have played a lot of night football last week in New Zealand in the wet. Mate, they're going to be ready. They're going to be ready to go.
Well, you could say the same about the Sharks. Sharks have had a few night games. So Sharkies, yeah. Are you liking the Sharks? Are you liking the Sharks against the Raiders?
Fletch, this is a hard one. This is really, really hard. Look, the Raiders. One thing about the Raiders, mate, they've been the best. They've been the best team all year. In a bad back end of one game, finals game where some of the young blokes, got the pressure got to them a little bit. That doesn't suddenly make you a poor football side, and it's still there. I reckon Ricky will be able to get them up physically and emotionally. I reckon at night in Canberra. They're undefeated that night in Canberra this year. They haven't been beaten there. I reckon they get it done. But, mate, it's one of those things, isn't it? When you look and the Sharks are surging forward, boys like last week, and the Raiders trying to put themselves back together again a little bit. It's hard, very, very hard to pick.
Tell you what about the only thing that I give Bulldogs a little chance is Serraldo knows that system back to front, and the other big factor. There's going to be like 50 or 60,000 Dogs fans.
Yeah, that's right.
Like it's going to be pumping.
And we finally see Galvin.
Which they'll love. Yeah, well, that's right. Which, mate, by the way, Nathan and Penrith will love.
Hey, final thing for you, Matty.
Big crowd. Yeah.
Final thing for you. I'm pretty sure he's an ex-teammate, actually. Justin Holbrook, you like the appointment?
Yes, I do like it. I think he'll do a good job. They got to be patient with him because it's a massive job, and he needs to have his fingerprints on a lot of things in the club, including the juniors coming through and recruitment, all those things that have been so poor, recruitment, retention. He's got to have his fingers on them. So it's a huge job. In the next 3 years, he's not going to get much sleep.
No. Well, Matty, I've organised for your Morning Glory gang. I've organised an OB out here on Chevron Island. So that'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Oh,
so
no.
You're good as gold. You're gonna have a great time up here. Great.
Honest, OBs suck.
Hey, Matty, enjoy your afternoon into the evening, and mate, we appreciate your time. We'll catch up on Thursday.
Good on you, boys. See you, lads.
See you.
Brian, the famous Raiders Club. Think about the great players who have been down there.
Albert Fullerby.
13 life members of the club only. The 13th, Jarrod Tootsie Croker. Congratulations, legend.
Yes, Tootsie.
Thanks, boys. Thank you. Much appreciated.
That must have been special,
for sure.
So,
it was, mate.
Yeah, wow. Good on you, mate. It's an amazing group. So you join that group with Jason Croker and Josh Papali'i. So how good's that, mate?
Yeah, it was awesome, mate. Obviously didn't expect that last night. They sat me and Old Toots on the same table, and they called his name out first. They sort of said there was a surprise and called his name out first, and I think the missus had a bit of an inkling. She sort of knew something was going on, so I sort of started getting a bit nervous. So I sculled my beer just in case I was next. And then, it was special, mate. And to have Big Papa and Toots up there alongside me and to share it with them. And like you said, I think Mal's the only one of the only players that's actually in the life membership. A lot of them are, John McIntyre, Don Furner Senior and guys like that. Wow. So it's extremely special.
Wow.
And so Tootsie, did you say your missus had a bit of an idea going to the event, or just on the night?
Well, she had an idea something was up because it was at a Parliament House. They're tight on numbers. So actually, all the staff members' partners weren't invited. So Brittany wasn't invited last year, and then all of a sudden, a couple of weeks ago, she got the late call up. So we had a bit of an idea but I didn't expect that at all. I thought maybe something to do with the 300 game club with Papa and Toots, but certainly didn't expect that.
Wow, that's huge, mate. Congratulations. And what about
Thank you.
Joe Tarpany, Brian? 4th year in a row, he scoops up the Mal Meninga medal. That's 4 years in a row. That is some achievement.
He's the Mickey. And thoroughly deserved, isn't it, Tootsie?
Yeah, for sure. I think probably the most pleasing part, and Taps to be so proud of it as well, is it could have gone to 8 or 10 blokes this year, and he still got it. A couple of those lean year, or last year was obviously a lean year, and a few of the previous years where he's really stood out, and you've probably gone to the awards night knowing that he was going to get it, whereas last night there was 6 or 8 names on people's lips, and the skipper still rose to the top. So pretty special moment for him, and Simona Taufa as well. She won the NRLW Meninga medal for the 3rd time in a row as well. So a couple of nice achievements.
Tootsie, okay, let's move on. Congratulations and all that Sunday. Holy dooly. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Mate, it was the most bizarre game I've ever seen in my life. I just literally, we had it won. Like, we shook hands in the coach's box twice. Like, congratulations, boys, we're done. Yeah. No, shit, hang on, there we are. And then it happened again. I was, so many moments, and it was just the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. I still can't believe it. I try to avoid it. You get on social media, and there's something new popping up every 30 seconds on social media about the game and what could have been and ifs and buts. And at the end of the day, they got the result. But it could have been a different story for us. But geez, it was a different game, wasn't it?
Oh, gosh, it was good. Now, Tootsie, we've got to talk about the elephant in the room, the right side of the defence of the Raiders. The Sharks are going to be licking their lips, and they're going to come down there. It was a bit of an issue leading into this game, and it was just sort of, what would Ricky be doing this week, do you feel?
I don't feel like we need there's probably a bit of more intent, I think. When there's a person, and Will Kennedy's a great player, but there's not many Reece Walshes out there. So it's going to be a little bit different. And I think that if a few of the, having their time again, personally, if it's me and we got skinned once, I'd probably erring on the side of being more aggressive. And, he's quite quick, Reece Walsh, especially over that shorter distance. There was one where Jamal, he goes, I thought I had him, and he was just too quick. He was just gone. So you might have to lean on being a bit more aggressive if that does sort of tend to happen. But it's just momentum, and the game of footy is all about momentum. And we had opportunities there. They had 11 men. We had 12, but they had 11 men, and we scored, and then we unfortunately dropped one off the kickoff, and it just from them they just had the ball the whole time. And once it starts getting up around golden point, extra time, your middles, the line speed starts getting less and less, so you can't really get forward. And unfortunately, those fast players come into the game, and that's what Reece Walsh done.
I mean, I know you'll say no, but would there be any a thought process of maybe putting Ethan Strange over onto the right and swapping?
I wouldn't change anything.
With Jamal?
Yeah,
No,
I wouldn't. Okay. I wouldn't change it this time of the year, mate. To be honest, mate, there's not many blokes. There's not many 3 men in the comp that would be able to catch Reece Walsh one-on-one. Like a goal for us. If Kyo Weeks gets one-on-one with a 3-man, we're laughing. That's a win for us. So it's the same sort of situation as us. I think it's it's. I defended next to a very good half in Jack White for a long, long time, and I reckon he would have struggled to catch Reece Walsh sometimes. So it's he's very quick. We've sort of got to move on and try not to change too much. It's a short turnaround. The boys played 93 or 4 minutes, so it'll be about getting them fresh and ready to go, mate. It's it's going to be a big game Saturday night.
Oh, massive game. When Ethan Strange scored, I was convinced that was it.
Yeah, well, so did everyone else. As Toots just said, everyone was basically shaking hands. What is the? I mean, all clubs would do it now. The Hosking charge down. What's the rule within the Canberra team? Does Sticky say, look, if a bloke's going for a kick, don't go anywhere near him, or do you get him from the inside, or do you try and get straight on? What do you guys? What's the?
I thought you were going to ask what the rule around shit stirring is, because he's not allowed to do that anymore either. Apparently, it's going to be. You're going to see how long Ronaldo Multalo spends on the field this week if you're not let a shit stir. But look, it's a tough one. You practice it, and you're just not allowed to go near the legs. It's as simple as that. And Hosco, the poor bugger, had made 55 tackles, doing the right thing for the team. And he actually, from the angle, if you sort of see the angle I was at side on, and he actually has an attack in the legs. He's nearly going away. He's sort of going with the ball, and he just clips his leg. And Reece carried on. He carried on like he had it snapped in half. And as they do. I mean, you go as soon as it touches, they get a penalty. What I didn't understand, I didn't realise the rule. You goes down. I thought, he's not going to kick a goal from 45 out on the scrum line, but 10 in front. That broke our hearts pretty quickly.
What is that?
Look, it's a tough one.
Toots, what is that? Because we were discussing it on Monday, and we could only find it's changed after COVID. It was part of that new rules committee that came in, that wherever the ball lands from it, if you're going into the act of scoring, i.e. a field goal or a try.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, just in the act of an actual. Yeah, well, I didn't know about it. In the act of having a field goal, scoring points, the penalty, because usually if it's a normal kick, it's just where the ball lands. Because that's what we're under the pressure of. The ball didn't land anywhere because he actually charged it down. But no, it was goes to 10 in front, which that was heartbreak number one. And then we went again.
Oh, when Carrigan got sent off, I binned. Broncos were $81. That's how remote a chance they were.
You're still here? We'll see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio. Because if you don't, you're an A grade. But if you do, you're the absolute Mickey.